Hello and welcome. For this tutorial you will be learning how to use arrays in Python, and I've made a little program here. It's a translator. It translates English words to other languages. So I'm going to show you how to do that using arrays, and here's what happens. Let me start by this word here, okay, and then I press enter. It says word not found. Now if I type sleep, press enter. So in Russian that's the word for sleep. In Swahili is kulala, and in Luganda is webake. In Uganda. Then another word, let's say, so in word is in English, but in Russian it's written like that. Swahili is neno, and in Luganda is echigambo, like word. Okay, that's how the program runs. So I'm gonna show you how I did that. Okay, so we are gonna start off by assigning arrays all these values. Okay, now you need to make sure that, let's say, word at this position 0, okay, is the matching word in Luganda and in Swahili and in Russian. Okay, now you can add other languages if you want. You can add, I don't know, any other languages. But if you have, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters inside of English, so you need to have 5 matching characters for each of these arrays. Okay, now the arrays, I give them appropriate names. I mean, you can call it whatever name you want, but I mean, this is an array of English words. That's for Luganda words, Swahili words, and Russian words, which is why I named them these. I gave them these names here. Now let me first of all put a little comment here. Now this part, hold on a minute, this part prompts the user to enter a word. Now you have your own words. I mean, you can fill in as many words as you want, but this is just, for illustration. Okay, so you can write as many as thousands or millions of words. It's up to you. Right, now I'm going to define a function. Okay, define a function. I'm going to name it word. Okay, you can give it any name, but that's mine. Then I'm gonna ask them to enter a word, but that word should be stored in this variable. Okay, I'm gonna call it search word equals. I expect a user's input for this question. Enter a word. Okay, enter your word. Let me say enter your word. Okay, and then give them a little space to type. Okay, after that, now I don't know, because they might type this using capital letters or small uppercase, whatever it is. Okay, so I need to convert this, whatever I typed in, I'm gonna have to convert it into a lower case. Okay, convert that to a lower case. Such word is now equal to its previous value converted to a lower case. So if he typed, for example, B like this, okay, with a capital B, it's gonna be converted to B like that. Okay, that's done. And then what I also need is to call a function named translate. Okay, this function has parameters for such word because it expects that value. I can put some comments here if that makes sense. The reason why we convert the user's input to lowercase is because, as you see up here, all the words are in lowercase. I mean, you can do it a different way, but that's mine. Okay, right, now that's what happens. So now what we do is to invite. Now let's invite the function. Let's invite that function translate. Okay, now so we need to tell the program what translate is. Okay, I'm just gonna copy that. Now before we do that, let's actually this function and finds matching words from other arrays. Okay, matching words of the same array position. Okay, we'll get to know that in a minute. Of the same array position. Let's put this down there. Okay, for example, if you typed a word laugh, it's at position 2 because arrays count from position 0. So that's 0, 1, 2. Now if you find laugh, if you typed the word laugh and you want to know the translation for laugh in Luganda, Swahili, or Russian, it's then gonna look for all the other words in position 2. Okay, so it's gonna look for 0, 1, 2, which is seka in Luganda, then 1, 0, 1, 2, which is cheka in Swahili, that's the meaning of laugh, and then in Russian 0, 1, 2 is that word simex. I don't know how they say it in Russian. Okay, so that's what it does, this part here. Okay, now let's code that for now. Now, translate. First of all, we're gonna try and make sure the user's entry is present in the array. Okay, so what we do, we say if such word, oh, hang on a minute, this here, that, okay, in English, if such word is present in the array named English, you don't have to add anything here, anything like that. No, you don't. Okay, is present in English, what happens? Okay, what happens? So we say, okay, such word index, for example, yeah, because we're looking for the index of that typed word is equal to English.index. So we're looking for the index position of this word that was typed from in this array here named English. Okay, we're looking for the index position of whatever word that was typed by the user in this array named English. Okay, so we're looking for where laugh, what position is laugh in, and it's at position 0, 1, 2. It's at position 2. Okay, now we're saying that if such word is in English, find its position and allocate that position to this variable named word index. Okay, so find the position of the entered word and then from the array named English, and then allocate that word to the variable named such word index. Now we're gonna try and assign some new variables now. Okay, so we're gonna abbreviate Russian, abbreviate Luganda, and then we can say no, that's it. Okay, now all equal to. Okay, so what's the value for Russian? Okay, I'm gonna type, okay, Russian is in search word index of the array. So we are saying that this variable Russian, okay, is equal to the word that is at the index number 2. Because remember, search word index, we chose laugh. Okay, so index number 2, we're looking for this word here. This word here, that's the value for RUSS. So that's how it is. That's like writing Russian and then you write 2. So if you say Russian 2, okay, you are looking for the word at position 2, 0, 1, 2. That's the word you're looking for. It's the word you're trying to extract from this array. But because you don't know what the user is going to type, we need to find which number it is by searching for the index value of that word he typed from an array named English. And then we search for the value of that index from an array named Russian, if that makes sense. So we're going to do the same to the following. And again, Swahili. Let's do that. Okay, so as you see here, each one of these variables has a value here. Okay, RUSS has that value, Uganda has this value, okay, and Swahili has that value. And these values are the position number 2, the value at position number 2 in each of these corresponding arrays. Okay, right, now I hope that makes sense. Let me try and do some typing here. We then find the values of the position given, which is position 2, for the arrays of other languages, i.e. Russian, Luganda, and Swahili. These arrays here. Okay, now moving on. After finding their values, we're now going to print them out because we want the user to see the translations for the word they typed. So print. First of all, we're going to format everything. Okay, so they're all the same data type. We're going to put this on a new line and we say the Russian word for your typed word is curly braces RUSS. That's the Russian word. Then on a new line, we say for Swahili, it's gonna be swa. Yeah. And then we say for Luganda, however, Luganda is gonna be braces lug. Is that what I gave it? Yeah, lug. Okay. So that's how it is. Now remember something. We started off with if condition, with this if condition, that if the search word, if the word that was typed in is inside the array named English, this is all that happens. Okay, so let me first of all do that. Now we languages. Else, now this is what happens if search word, the word they typed. Remember when I was starting this program, I first of all typed the word that is not in the array. Now what happens is that if they typed, like for example, words, and it's not in this array and it only has word, it's gonna say word doesn't exist. What happens if the word does not exist? We simply say print word. Yeah, word hasn't been found, sorry. So now this is all done. What happens next? Let's first of all print, let's underline everything that's been going on, and then let's use the dashes. Okay, we're gonna print them 50 times, for example, or let's say 45, 50 times. Okay, now we invite word. What does word do? It allows the user to type another word and then do the same process again. And what this does is draw proceedings. It's a bit of a technical language here, but what we really want is if it displayed some stuff at the start, we don't want it to mix everything. Okay, we want to show it that okay, now we're ready for another line, so for another word, and then it's gonna, what we could have done is to erase the whole screen and then ask a word, but we want them to trace back all the other meanings and then read the word again and then try and memorize them and type another word and memorize it. That's the idea. And then inform the user. This is a bit self-explanatory, but I'll type it anyway. Inform the user found. Now I think I've commented every part. Okay, now this is what you see up here, word, and as I said, this part prompts the user to enter a word. That's all it does, and then converts the word to a lowercase, and then it invites the translator, that function that translates. And when translate does its translation, it displays the translated words and then draws a line underneath and asks the user. So that's what happens. But then, so that's what happens. So remember, the functions you see here won't run unless you call for them to run. So even though I typed word here, I need to type word again because that's where the program starts from. Okay, so that's how it is. Pretty simple if you know how to, the most difficult part could be translate. And then the rest of it is all about organizing everything and mixing variables with other string values. And then you have your program running. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. This is how it looks. So what does it do? Enter a word. I type a word like sleeps, and it says to me word is not found. Enter the word. I write sleep, and it says in Russian is that, in Swahili is kulala, and in Luganda is webake sebo. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, share, like, give me a nice comment, and have a nice day. Thank you.